hump day, all you beautiful radio listeners. Thank you for dropping into our little happy hour. We appreciate you listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, here is a hand gesture just for you. You're welcome. If you're on YouTube, feel free to hit us up on the chat. If you're listening to us on the radio through 105.1 The Fan, 1080 The Fan, if you're online at 1051thefan.com, Odyssey.com, you're using the Odyssey app, or you told your smart speaker to play The Fan, use the text line 503-2GO-FAN. That's 503-864-6326. Share your thoughts, ask questions, solicit advice, or answer me this, dear listeners. What is the most common household argument you have? Case, do you live with your girlfriend? You got a live-in lady friend?
Yes, I do. Technically, we live in sin, but we still live.
What? I don't think in 2026 you're going to get much resistance on that, but how do your parents feel about it, I guess, would be the question. The fact that you brought it up.
They're happy with it.
Okay.
They want me out of the house anyways.
That's all. Who thinks you're living in sin? Grandparents? Is there somebody that looks down on your union?
No.
Okay.
I just make jokes.
Well, try to make them funny next time. Be helpful. The good ones are anchored in some truth. I think it's like I have any room to tell you to make good jokes. What's the biggest squabble that you and your lady friend have at home? What's the biggest mundane household argument?
Both of us hate doing dishes.
So do you argue about who has to do them or who hasn't done them?
Who hasn't done them and who has to do them, because whoever cooks, whoever doesn't cook has to do the dishes.
Gotcha. And it's pretty common that you guys are cooking dinner, or you guys in the...
Most nights.
Okay, most nights.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a daily argument?
Not really, but
okay.
Of the arguments that come up, that's
sure.
the one
that's fair. That's fair. Do you ever argue over energy savings?
That's not one we do argue about.
Okay, because the reason that I bring this up, and this is a study out of the UK, but it was surprising to me, and it just came across my line of vision today, and it said that more people argue about leaving the lights on than they do about the temperature of the house. I was a little surprised. If you leave the lights on, apparently people think that wastes more energy than sneaking to adjust the thermostat. 44% of households argue about leaving the lights on, while only 39% argue over heating cost and thermostat settings.
Are you a leave the lights on type of guy?
I'm pretty good at it. We have to bark at our children. See, I almost have to recuse myself from this because so much of our frustration is going towards 2 9-year-olds. And they're actually getting better. I doubt they're listening right now. It is a half day today, so maybe they could be. So I don't want to be too positive towards my children, but they are getting better at most of the things. Now, it takes a constant amount of repetition to get them to make any one small change.
As one does.
But it's also been so freaking cold lately. As we keep getting, this morning was 31 degrees. Yesterday, just rain and cold. We haven't gotten any of the snow or a ton of ice. So I think it's been really stinking cold. So I think we're on the same page at my house, which is, let's make it a touch warmer. So I tend also to just kind of leave it to my wife. She doesn't like it too warm. She doesn't want it to be too cold. I'm pretty good with her settings, so maybe I'm okay with that. So we probably argue more about the lights, but it's not very often. But we almost never argue about the heat. What is that?
My girlfriend hates when I leave the shower curtain open. After I get out of the shower, I'll just forget to close it, and that drives her up a wall.
Yeah, because you have to look at the inside of the shower.
It's not like our shower is insanely dirty.
The one that I don't get, the complaint about the toilet seat.
It's the amount of movements. I'm with you.
It's a little I bought and installed all of the slow close toilet seats around the house. We had initially, when our kids were born, we needed new toilet seats. We had been living in the house for a little while. We just never replaced them. And what drove me crazy is they were all different. And so we had a plastic one in this room and a wood one in this one and a different one in this one.
That throws you off.
I'm the only one, I think, in the house that uses all 3 bathrooms. We've got like the little water closet downstairs, and then we've got 2 upstairs. One in the master, one in the hallway, right? I think I'm the only one that uses them all. My wife will march upstairs to use hers in the master, and that is her bathroom. The one in the hallway is slowly becoming the children's, and they will take that one every time.
And the one that's available.
Yeah, and the one's down,
yours.
and the one, well, but I will use whichever one is closest. I'm not that picky. So when the kids were born, I bought these like dual action toilet seats where they had the built-in child seat.
Okay.
So, all right, listen, we've got 2 kids. We need new toilet seats. It's been bugging me. So we had those until they basically got destroyed. I mean, they just got used so much. But they were heavy as all get out in the big slam. So then, I don't know, 7 or 8 years later, I go and I'm like, everybody's getting a slow close. We've tried out a couple different versions. I know exactly what we want. I should be able to leave it up whenever I want. But apparently there's a fear that you're going to fall head first. So it sounds like to me, if you're going to fall in the one time that I leave it up, I don't leave it up often enough. I've done you a disservice. By me being so courteous so often, I have put you into a space where you have no awareness of whether or not you're about to fall ass first into the toilet. I've let you down. I'm sorry. So I should probably start doing it more. But then I don't. But that's the argument that I always try and it never works. But all I can do is try. Right?
Does she get on you?
Would you rather have me
doesn't?
never put it up? Because I think you would like that.
Does she get on you if you leave it up, or is it just something?
It's always mentioned. It can never be left up without it being mentioned. Even if she walks into the bathroom
Does she
to
leave
brush
it up?
her teeth, well, she never puts it up. Why would you ever put it up? And so what I do is after she complains, for a solid week, I put the full lid down. Not just the seat goes down, the whole thing. Because now you got to be aware of it.
Because now you
That's
might
right.
just end up on the lid.
That's right. How's that going to work for you?
That's a good one.
There
It's
we go.
crafty.
So those are my 2 rebuts. But apparently light's more important than the heat. That's surprising to me. Here's something that is not surprising to me. Fan Madness is back. Join the Fan Thursday, March 19th and Friday, March 20th for 2 of the most exciting days of basketball at Tom's Watch Bar in A-Lene Casino and Resort in Ridgefield. Dirt and Sprague, the firm of Harrison Meringue, this little happy hour and prime time with Isaac and Suk, all broadcasting live throughout the day. Don't miss a minute of the action. Play hooky with the Fan for Fan Madness, brought to you by A-Lene and Window Nation. March 19th and 20th, A-Lene Casino Resort. Did you happen to read any of the comments that JSN made today about one Cooper Kupp?
No, I did not.
We've talked about a fair amount about the roster construction. Obviously, it worked out for the Seahawks. We've started drawing some parallels between the Seattle Mariners that had such a great year and the Seattle Seahawks. It's a very good time to be a Seattle sports fan. I'm not going to bring in the Kraken. Don't worry about that. I have no interest in the Sounders, but being a Mariners and a Seahawks fan has been great. I just want to tell you what the Cooper Kupp edition, for anybody that said he's not the same player he used to be, I'll give you that. Was it a good signing? Sounds like it was. This is JSN. He said, I give credit to Cooper Kupp for that. I kind of changed it kind of changed my life, honestly, not being a slave to the result. When a Hall of Fame wide receiver comes to your position group, your eyes light up and it's like you're in football heaven. I think when I line up on the field, when I lined up on the field, I was thinking I was the best player out there. So he's talking about results don't matter, and it's all about the process. He also gives credit to Mike McDonald for that, but he said it's process over results, and that's what led him to being the league's leading wide receiver. The reason this really caught my attention, I was listening to an interview with Cal Raleigh earlier this week. You know what he said? Process over results. How are you going to go out and hit 60 home runs again? You know how many times he's been asked that over the year? He said, you know what, man, I just go and figure out how I can have the best at bat I possibly can. What did I work on in the offseason? More power, more this, more that? No, just working on being better in the low zone. That's all. It's process over result. I mean, it's one of the simpler things that you can do in sport. But the fact that you have two organizations that are built on that, to me, has me very excited for this baseball season. I know there's a lot of expectations, but when your clubhouse leader and your home run leader and your platinum glove catcher comes out and says that, echoing the same thing that your best wide receiver just said, makes me feel pretty good.
I mean, especially when Cooper Kupp has, again, the leadership role that he has.
Yeah.
You see what Robert Woods did for Cooper Kupp in the years where Cooper Kupp was the star. Now Cooper Kupp's getting to do it for JSN, and he's only going to get recognized probably more for that.
Yeah, well, and you have to remember there's some other wide receivers on this roster that can use that help. I mean, if he's helping the tight end room with A.J. Barner, Torrey Horton had a good start to the year and then was chipped up towards the end of it. You brought in Rashid Shaheed. Whether or not he's re-signed or not is
Got
to be
Elijah
determined.
Arroyo.
But just the way that you can affect a team, there's so many different ways to do it. There's a huge roster in the NFL, but you come in and you have the pedigree, the experience, the Triple Crown, the Super Bowl MVP. Like JSN said, you've got a gold jacket waiting for you after you finish your career. Pretty nice way to make an impact. Plus, at 38, I think he's the same age as Mike McDonald. Maybe he's not 38 yet, but he's getting there. So he's not 38. What is he, 33?
32.
Ooh, okay. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. Let's do some in case you missed it. In case you missed it, a Harvard materials scientist inspired by the squeak of basketball shoes has discovered that the noise is actually caused by high-frequency ripples in the rubber sole. Cool. So we found out what makes the squeaky sound, and we're one step closer to figuring out the riddle of what makes a nerd a nerd. Question is, was he able to figure out what caused the nearby Celtic fans to give him a wedgie and stick his head in the toilet? That's what we really need to figure out.
I'm just here to analyze the noise that's coming off of the Celtics players' shoes.
In case you missed it, Tiger Woods is reportedly facing a soft deadline before the Masters to decide if he will be a captain for the 2027 Ryder Cup. And while he's still trying to determine if his body is ready to play in Augusta. Say what you want about Tiger, but none of us will ever know what it's like to be so famous that the simple act of making a decision is considered news. Ladies and gentlemen, we just received word that after months of intense deliberation, Luke Anderson is getting closer to deciding whether or not to send an email. Will he? Won't he? It should be just a matter of days before we find out. Boom! 12 million clicks. Congratulations. Insane. I've seen 8 headlines in the last week. Tiger Woods, will he play? Might he play? He said he could play. Should have a decision.
The sound clip of him saying, "It's not out," was it. That was it.
And everybody goes crazy. In case you missed it, an ESPN report from the NFL Combine directly contradicts Arizona GM's Monty Ossenfort's claim that he has been in constant communication with Kyler Murray. There are reports out there that the Cardinals organization has had no communication with Kyler Murray. So here we have a classic he said, he didn't say. Did he say or did he not say? Did he say or not? Who said? If anybody said anything situation. Is this the most Arizona Cardinals story you've ever heard in your entire life?
It's predictable.
Oh, boy. What a turd of an organization. And the good news is they're in our division. The bad news, also the Rams and 49ers in your division. In case you missed it, Broncos head coach Sean Payton is planning to relinquish offensive play calling duties to 31-year-old offensive coordinator Davis Webb for the 2026 season. This marks the first time since 2011 that Payton hasn't called plays. It says how much immense trust he has in the young coordinator, but really it's just freeing up his schedule so he can spend more time focused on his defense and making sure that the payouts are accurate to any D lineman that takes out an opposing quarterback's ACL. No? Gotta make sure. Listen, salary caps have changed. They've gone up. Is the bounty correct? I mean, listen, they barely hurt any quarterbacks. No? In case you missed it, Warriors fans are reportedly calling for Steve Kerr's job after former Golden State forward Jonathan Kuminga put up 27 points in his Atlanta Hawks debut last night. Good call, guys. Your former player scored 27 in a worthless February NBA game, so you should definitely fire the coach that brought your team 4 championships. Reasonable response, dude. Nice. Smart. In case you missed it, the Lakers blew a 12-point second-half lead to the Orlando Magic, losing 110-109 after Luka Doncic surprisingly passed up a wide-open three at the buzzer to defer to LeBron James. Ladies and gentlemen, it's happened. The training is complete. He's whining at refs after every whistle, and now he's passing up on game winners. Luka is officially the next LeBron. All he needs now is a questionable hair transplant and a 45-minute TV special to switch teams at some point in the future. It's very, very exciting. In case you missed it, Penguins captain Sidney Crosby has been placed on the injured reserve and is expected to miss at least 4 weeks after suffering a lower body injury while playing for Team Canada in the 2026 Winter Olympics. What a resentful, petty jerk. I bet he'd play if he was on the Maple Leafs. Don't take your frustrations out on Pittsburgh just because they're American, you big baby. No? Is that not what happened? He was a game-time decision for the gold medal game. Then he goes back to an American city, an American franchise. Like, oh, yeah, I think I'm more than that. Shut up. And finally, in case you missed it, during last night's State of the Union address, President Trump announced that Team USA goaltender Connor Hellebuck will receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his 41-save performance in the gold medal win over Canada. What an honor. But the president didn't need to add that he would personally have saved all 42 shots. I mean, come on. We know our commander-in-chief would have pitched a shutout, but let the kid have his moment. Can we just for 1 second? All right. Thank you for our wonderful studio audience. We've got a little bit of news from your Portland Trail Blazers, update on spring training and your Seattle Mariners. Plenty of rumors and actions that we're seeing from NFL talks at the Combine. We do all that in the Daily Buzz at 2:30. We will bring you the subtext. We'll listen to play-by-play audio, press conference audio, and let you know what they're actually thinking. A lot more to come on Happy Hour. It's 105.1 The Fan.
It's Luke Anderson.
Well, the Portland Trail Blazers didn't get cleaned up and run out of the building by the Minnesota Timberwolves, but they also did not win. 124-121 home loss. You had a pretty outstanding shooting night for a couple of Timberwolves. The combined shooting percentage for Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels from three, 83.3. Both teams shot 35 three-pointers. Minnesota made 17 compared to Portland's 14. You had a couple nice outings. Drew Holiday, 22 points. Scoot Henderson had a 19 off the bench. 34 total points for Edwards was enough for the Minnesota Timberwolves to walk out with a victory. I told you yesterday I want to see some of these games be wins, but you also want to see them come down to the end of the games. The bad news for your Trailblazers is it sounds like you are going to have another 4 to 6 weeks of no Shaedon Sharpe before you have another evaluation. He has apparently something called a stress reaction diagnosis in his left fibula. Dr. Lowercase, do you have any idea what any of that means?
I believe it's before a stress fracture.
What it means is another 4 to 6 weeks before there's an evaluation. He needs to rest. So hopefully it ends up not being something that ends his season. But if we're going into tank mode, who knows?
The Buzz.
Hey, let's go down to spring training. We got our first look at new acquisition infielders. Second baseman, can play third base, can play outfield, can do a little bit of everything. But Brendan Donovan took his first at-bats as a Seattle Mariner. How do you do? How about 2 for 2 before being pulled from the Cactus League duty and moved into the dugout to hang out with his new teammates? Felt good, looked good. He's recovering from a sports hernia surgery, so that's the reason we hadn't seen anything. Immediately, he'll have limited duty, but this is somebody that Buster Olney listed as the 5th best second baseman in all of baseball and one of the most coveted free agents available out there.
And he was hitting leadoff. I know the
Yeah.
speculation was where was he going to hit in the lineup, towards the base of it?
I
or-
think it was always going to be top of the order. He's got a very low strikeout rate, part of the reason that him and Josh Naylor were so coveted by the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners over the last however many years have been a high-volume strikeout team, so adding a couple guys at first and second base, assuming that's where he ends up playing, depending on what they do with Cole Young, and does Cole Emerson make it up, and blah, 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 blah. Another infielder with a low strikeout rate that can hit at the top of the order is exactly what they were looking for. I don't pay too much attention to where you put people in the lineup. You wanted him out there so he could get at-bats. He got 2 at-bats, left the game.
And again, it's still spring training.
Yeah, totally.
Who knows?
Yep, absolutely. Cal Raleigh is on the board with his first home run. This one will not count towards his annual total, but he's getting a little bit of a heavier workload in spring because he's going to depart for the World Baseball Classic shortly, but he had a 427-foot home run. I love looking at the numbers that they give you, and it always seems very impressive, so I had to do a little checking, but they're like, his bomb left his bat at 107.4 miles an hour, had a 6.1 hang time. Cool. Awesome. Is that good? You know what the fastest ball hit last year in the major leagues was?
117.
122. How'd you like to be a pitcher in the major leagues?
Was
How did
that
come back in?
O'Neal Cruz? Or was
You
it-
know that it was. Absolutely, yep.
The Buzz.
All right, let's move over to a little bit of NFL football. The Jacksonville Jaguars, no surprise, and the Washington Commanders have both been named hosts for the NFL's London games, so they will be doing that in 2026. The Jaguars spend a lot of time across the pond. New coach Liam Cohen said, my immediate takeaway was London is undoubtedly our home away from home. So it seems to be working in the favor of the NFL. If they're planning on moving somebody across over there, they have strategically put the Jaguars over there often. And it sounds like the reception is working about the way that you would hope that it would.
The Buzz.
All right, let's go over to Green Bay. Quarterback Malik Willis is projected to be leaving the Packers in free agency and commanding a salary somewhere around $30 million. That doesn't seem that high to me. I mean, I realize that he hasn't proven himself as a starter over a long period of time, but I mean, this is the offseason to be a backup quarterback looking for a new home after what Sam Darnold was able to do. A lot of reports that Mac Jones will be the next guy to break through with a team after making a couple stops. But, man, if Green Bay is training quarterbacks and you can go out and get them, feels like their regular backups have turned into pretty good starters in the NFL over the last
What was the number
few
again?
decades. $30 million.
$30 million. That would place him above Justin Fields, but just below Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold.
Yeah, see, that seems about right. He's been good when he's been out there, and he looks like one of those guys that has had NFL experience that you can go and get versus going to the ranch. I don't know, would you rather have Malik Willis or go after Fernando Mendoza?
Probably Mendoza. But what I'm surprised about is why aren't teams jumping for Mac Jones?
That's one I expect. I just haven't seen anything yet, but I think the headline here was, oh my gosh, $30 million. That feels about right. I mean, what are you expected to play? The Seahawks paid in 2011. I want to say they paid $17 million to Matt Flynn to come over from Green Bay to be their starter, and he didn't even get the job, and I don't think he ever started a game for the Seattle Seahawks that I know of. So it feels about right.
The Buzz.
Speaking of quarterback positions, the Panthers have confirmed that they are looking for the opportunity to bring in quarterbacks to create a competition for the backup 38-year-old Andy Dalton is currently their backup quarterback. They also mentioned that they're getting a lot of calls on the Red Rifle, so potential for Andy Dalton to be moving on. They look like they're going to be moving through different options at the quarterback position. They're not the only ones. The Minnesota Vikings said they are leaving every opportunity on the table to bring in quarterbacks for competition, which will include J.J. McCarthy. So they are not willing to say. Of course, they've flipped over their entire front office after letting Sam Darnold walk into the arms of an awaiting team that went on to win the Super Bowl and went with J.J. McCarthy, who, when healthy, not great. When not healthy, Carson Wentz played through a pretty severe injury, and
so
Max
did
Brosmer. Wow, I don't know if that was injury or just being a undrafted rookie. Either way, there was not a lot of great quarterback play in Minnesota.
The Buzz.
Somebody who has been good in the NFL is a guy named Trent Williams. 49ers organization is trying to put a positive spin on it, but it does not sound like they're very close to figuring out how to keep Mr. Williams as their left tackle. Could you imagine if he ends up hitting the open market? If you're a team close to figuring it out and you can go out and get Trent Williams, that seems like a good thing to know, 38 years old or not. Short term, big pile of guaranteed money. Come on down. We need a little help on our offensive line. Sounds pretty good to me.
He's dangerous every time that he's on the field. And again, McCaffrey was McCaffrey for a reason this year.
Yeah, well, I
running behind Trent
Don't
Williams.
disagree with that.
The Buzz.
And finally, how much would you pay for the best kicker in football? The most dangerous kicker in football? How much would you pay for a guy that makes 70-yard field goals in warm-ups, made 7 more 50-plus yard field goals since 2023 than any other kicker, and made 6 60-plus kicks in the NFL? What do you think he would be worth?
25 mil.
25.
Boswell's worth 20.
Well, he's asking for nearly $10 million, and that is Brandon Aubrey. He is seeking $10 million a year, which would shatter the record for the highest paid kicker in the NFL, is what it's telling me. But you're saying somebody's getting paid $20 million a year?
Sorry, it was 4 years, 20
Oh,
million.
4
But
years. So that is $5 million
$12.5
a
was
year.
guaranteed.
Okay. Yeah, but 5.8 is what Aubrey is getting right now, and 10 is what he is asking for. Is he worth it to you? That guy is different. He does not even look like he's swinging his leg and just gently boots at 60 yards.
I think so. I mean, you're getting 3 points from 60 yards out pretty consistently. That's a dangerous thing to
play
have to go
in an
against.
indoor stadium and gives you an advantage every time you're out there. I think it's definitely something to consider. And I mean, nobody likes having super freaks more than Jera. So you're in the right place for it. I wish you the best of luck in your contract negotiations. But if it doesn't work out and, you go elsewhere, find a place that has nice, flat, weatherproof surface that you can kick off of, and I'm sure you'll be just fine anywhere you
smiles,
end
and glory
up.
holes.
Amen to that. All right. Well, we've got to do some subtext. We're going to listen to the press conference audio from players and coaches. We'll try to read their minds. But right now, let's walk over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. And Casey can tell me what we missed.
First on the Fan, this story stumbled upon my timeline today. I just wondered if you'd find it very interesting.
One way to find out.
In 1970, legendary singer Marvin Gaye briefly pursued a professional football career, even going as far as to trying out for the Lions. Although he did not make the team, who is another artist that you believe could potentially try out and or make a professional roster?
I would like to see Steven Tyler give it a go. See if he could make a professional football roster. I mean, I think what is he, 70? Probably still got enough agility. I'd just like to see somebody wearing a scarf off the front of their face mask. I think that'd be pretty cool. No, actually, you know what I saw the other day? Have you watched the Stuart Scott 30 for 30?
No, not yet. It's on my list.
Really good. But one of the things I didn't know is he was doing a story about the tryout process or the combine or something, and actually tried out and put his name in the hat. He thought he was going to make the New York Football Jets. And one of his eye injuries, so he had 18 eye surgeries on one of his eyes, his left eye, I think. But his good eye ended up getting smoked by a ball out of the jugs machine, which was part of the things that made his vision even worse. So absolutely insane story. I don't want to give away anything else from it if you haven't seen it, but that one kind of floored me. The whole story, I don't think I've ruined it for anybody because that's been out for years. I'd been meaning to watch it and just put it on the other day. But that one was crazy. But yeah, well into his broadcast career, he's like, I can still make it.
Are there any athletes that you would like to see pursue artistry careers?
I just don't know enough about, who's the beautiful thing about art and the beautiful thing about athleticism is it's fun to be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
The guys that you don't expect are absolutely my favorite. So if anybody were to just show up and be insanely gifted at anything, I'm here for it. I like being surprised, man.
I've got one for you. Melvin Ingram, fantastic rapper.
Sure.
He's got a great
I'll take
album.
it. How do you feel about Dame Dollar?
I love Dame.
Yeah?
I used to walk to school every single day listening to the Dame freestyle on Sway in the morning.
Okay. Well, there you go. Dig it.
For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for the Oregon Ducks. He's missing it.
Okay, let's start with this. I know what everyone's thinking. Does Caleb have NBA aspirations? And the answer is no. I think football is his calling. Did you see the three-point contest?
Did you feel better? Were you worried?
Well, I sent him a meme of a guy just missing left and right, like before. And then when it actually happened, I felt bad. I was like, whoops. Spoke that one into existence, didn't I?
That was Bears head coach Ben Johnson poking fun at his quarterback. I don't know if you saw it, but Caleb Williams and a few other celebrities competed in a three-point competition, and Caleb looked awful.
Yeah, well, listen, if you just play football and you don't shoot a basketball, that's one of those learned traits. The nice thing about football is you can just put somebody out there that's an athlete and go, all right, you're big and you're strong. Let's try you here and see if that works. Well, you don't seem to have that twitchiness that we need for a defensive line. Let's put you on offense and see if you can stop any. Oh, you can't do that. Let's see if you can catch. Oh, maybe we'll put you a tight end. You can just go out there and run the whole thing. And if you don't really have any skills, but you want to be out there, boom, you're a Hall of Fame special teamer. Congratulations. So there's a million different ways to find and make your athleticism work. Quarterback is one of the very learned ones where you have to throw it. If you're spending all your time doing that, then you probably don't have time to learn a jump shot. So I think that is Ben Johnson just trying to show off that, look how good of friends we are. We razz each other in the offseason. Good times.
Part of me felt like Ben Johnson sat there in a chair in a dark room petting a cat on his lap.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, one thing I appreciate, he's in there every day, he's working out, but I don't think there's a day that he goes by without popping in, saying hello. I think he knows everybody in the building's name, which I think is impressive for a young quarterback, for a young man just in general. He's very personable. It is very important to him. That building is very, very, very important to him, and you can tell that he wants to lead it, and he's learning every single day what it takes to be a leader. And there's no doubt, I've said it before, a man who's built the way he is, who's wired the way he is, who works the way he does, it's very rare that those people don't find success, so we're excited to get to work with them.
That was Robert Saleh on quarterback Cam Ward. Is Cam Ward acting like a jealous girlfriend?
In how do you mean?
Well, first he went out of the way and said, I want to be a part of the decision for the head coach. And now, against the offseason, nothing's really going on. And he's just stopping by Robert Saleh's office, just checking in, bopping the head in.
Nah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that. It sounds like Robert Saleh likes the kid, but he's also non-committal, that entire thing, right? He's like, yeah, it's nice that he's taking the time to learn. He's doing all the right things now. But what I'm hearing is, let's see what happens when we get on the football field. Is this the guy? Is this somebody that we can build a franchise around? Doing all of the right things in the locker room takes you, a certain amount of the way. But until rubber meets the road and you get out there, and can he figure out the offense, and is he going to be the leader that you build the team around? Robert Saleh is going to focus on the defense, so he wants to leave that to the Brian Daboll and the rest of the offensive staff to figure out something to do. But if you have a franchise quarterback already ready to go, it's going to make your job a whole lot easier. So I don't think he wants to say anything negative about the guy, but I think he really wants to see what it looks like when you get to camp, when you get to OTAs, when you get to actual games.
And who was the best quarterback under Robert Saleh in New York?
Oh, boy.
Mike White.
Barf.
There's tons of work to be done. I mean, it's not just the Giants. I mean, I promise you, every single team, there's like loads and loads, heaps and mountains of work to be done, and we dig in. Another thing I do here is I watch tape. So I don't spend a lot of time watching the workouts because those are on tape. So I spend my time in my room. I have an office set up. I'm watching college tape because I need to get caught up and get ahead on seeing all the prospects. So, there's a lot of work to do.
That was John Harbaugh, newly hired coach of the New York Giants, sharing the same sentiment that you kind of spoke about yesterday. It's not the workout that matters. It's the tape that's going to be the best evaluator.
Yeah, I mean, he's saying simply, it's great to be here because it's nice to see all my buddies and stuff. But yeah, no, if you can put up big numbers, the first thing I'm going to do if numbers catch my eye or somebody brings it to my attention is I'm going to pull up that tape. And he's also saying that he's like, Yeah, I've got a lot of people that cut a bunch of tape together for me, so I know who to look at because I know what positions we need to have because I don't actually do any of the work that it requires to go. He makes it sound so arduous, and it's like, hey, check out this guy, check out this guy, check out this guy. He's got an entire machine around him making sure that he gets it. All I do is just sit up in the hotel room watching tape. I don't feel like it's you by yourself with a VCR sitting there looking at it on a little monitor. I'm pretty sure you've got enough assistant coaches and film guys and all of that, and you're probably sitting up there watching it together having conversations. But I like the way that he frames it. I'm just sitting there in a dark room, and it's just me and a pot of coffee, 12 packs of cigarettes, and just smoking my Marlboros and drinking my Folgers until I can figure out who the best player is. This is the fun part of the job.
And again, it's the same organization that drafted Kayvon Thibodeau, Malik Neighbors, Jackson Dart, and Cam Scatterbo.
Well, I don't know who's still working there, but yes, I would imagine the people that are putting all that together for you. They've done pretty well in the draft despite not having much success on the field.
Good. We've had great discussions about both of them. We'll continue to work this week and see if we can get something done. It's been very positive. Look, when both sides are driven to get it done, it usually works out in the right way. There's a long, I mean, I know 4 or 5 days doesn't seem like a long time, but it can be in these situations. But, you know, the player, we're driven, they're driven. The agents have been great to work with. We just got to keep working through it.
That was Colts GM Chris Ballard letting fans know that a deal between Daniel Jones or Alec Pierce is starting to get, again, developed towards being done. How do we feel about Daniel Jones going into next season, though?
Well, compared to Anthony Richardson, I think you're pretty excited about it. That's the name that's not being brought up at all. What are you going to do with this guy that you spent a first-round pick on who is hopefully going to be your quarterback of the future? I'm not 100% sure that drafting somebody entirely on athleticism and upside based on what they do at the combine is the best strategy for a football team. Daniel Jones did have decent numbers in the combine. He also had a lot of tape. Anthony Richardson had almost no tape, but man, his numbers looked fantastic. Remember how excited we were at the beginning of the NFL season in Seattle where you go, oh, I'm not 100% sure if Sam Darnold's going to be the guy, but you know
but at
who's
least
really
we have Jalen Milroe.
Jalen Milroe. They were going to put in gadget packages for him. They tried that the first couple weeks. And then, he was not ready for prime time. He has a lot of film, but he also has a lot of upside. So I don't mind so much. Was that a first-round draft pick they used on him? Remind me. Oh, no, it was the third.
Yeah.
That's what good organizations do. If you end up seeing Jalen Milroe, it will not be until he is ready to play football. They kept feeding us Anthony Richardson and feeding us Anthony Richardson. The other thing worth pointing out here, Daniel Jones was with the Vikings. Man, they tried hard to get everybody fired in that front office, didn't they? Nice job, Minnesota.
Think of it, 46 shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off. You practiced that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
That was Mr. All About Me, President Donald Trump, doing what he does best, making it about him. But it was a great moment for Connor Hellebuck, who received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He was also gifted a Secretary of Defense seal.
Hey, I'm sure those honors are fantastic, and you go through somebody's, memorabilia room at the end of their career, and you go, what's that for? I think he's going to be pointing at the gold medal and have that right next to it. Like, you just won an Olympic medal. Does it sound, though, like our great president is doing an impression of the president? Like, every time, like...
I was thinking the same exact thing.
Is there ever a time where you hear somebody do an impression and you just go, well, that's a little too over the top? Is it possible to go too over the top with this? I feel like he's doing the best impression of Donald Trump that anybody does. You can't beat it.
There's way more than 12 people who have been gifted the presidential.
Oh,
Medal of
wow.
Freedom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you suggesting that there's inaccuracies in the State of the Union address? Would you like to care to clarify the record of how many there are? Because I just assumed that it was factual.
No, I think we're good.
No, how many?
It's at least 30. Like there's 12 in basketball alone.
Okay. Well, there you go. How many hockey players? I thought I read first hockey player to get it.
Yeah, so he
See,
becomes
there you
the first
go.
hockey player.
There you have it. And what did he do to earn that?
Saved a lot of goals.
Play the game. So congratulations. We appreciate you, Connor Hellebuck. You are the man. Is that all we got for today?
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get on the road. This pertains to a bet you were going to make. Have you made it to the sports book? Have you got on the app? Because I've got some numbers that will change.
I looked at the odds today.
Some forecasting for you. We will discuss what that is when we do one more for the road. Next, you're listening to Happy Hour on 105.1 and the Fan Sports Network. All right, kids, I got a few things for you. One, we do have a winner from Take Your Pick for this week. It is Greg A. So, Greg, if you're listening, we'll fire out an email as soon as we get this week's sheet put together. But if you're available tomorrow at 2:30, we'd love to have you join the program. You can send in your picks. You can call. You can come into the studio. However you want, but we'll get that information out. I should have mentioned that yesterday. The second thing is if you want to listen to the podcast, first of all, you should. That will be available 1051thefan.com, Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app. Find it on any of the social medias through this great radio group. The other thing that I want to mention, at the beginning of every show, I invite all of you wonderful listeners to text message in. Casey doesn't have access to the text message machine, so we have not been pulling those. So we've been relying exclusively on YouTube. But it has been verified that tomorrow we will have text message capabilities. Casey, is that true?
1,000%.
Okay, fantastic. In the meantime, what are the people saying on the YouTube chats, young man?
Nothing. Rufio's waving at us.
just giving us a hey, what's happening? All right. Well, we'll get that. So this is a recent development. We'll get the text message problem solved. I've only asked you 30 times.
Yeah, it's been.
All right. Well, the good news is we can go right into. So turns out the odds makers are getting a little bit nervous that the two MVP frontrunners, a guy named Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you may have heard of him despite what you watched on Jeopardy. He is a fairly popular NBA player, and a guy named Nikola Jokic are both getting dangerously close to missing the league-mandated 65-game threshold for eligibility. So if you miss 17 games, you will become ineligible for that. So this is heavily impacting the MVP race, causing sportsbooks to make big shifts. And who is the long shot that is getting all of the change? Your boy, Cade Cunningham. So yesterday, what were the odds? Plus 1,300?
I believe they were over 1,000.
And what are they now?
Plus 450.
What? Did you make it to the sports book, buddy?
I think I might be going today or tomorrow.
Why didn't you do it yesterday? I told you plus 1,300 was. If both of those dudes are ineligible.
Wemby is plus 2,000. I might throw some money on that.
That wouldn't be a terrible ticket either. Wemby's, the thing with him, I don't know how many games he's missed. He doesn't play a ton of minutes. I mean, he impacts the game in a huge way, but on that team, I think they're winning games without him as much as obviously they're winning a lot of games with him, but if you take a look and see what they do when he's not in the lineup, it's still a pretty dang good basketball team. I mean, our guy, Cade Cunningham, is kind of the engine that drives that Piston team. I mean, plus he's got a sweet-looking afro. He's got the stank face that's working for him. I mean, the whole thing is pretty good.
He's a September birthday. I gotta love that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know that.
I'm 17 days older than him.
We've talked about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to this fine program. Thank you to Lowercase. And, of course, we need to say a big thank you to one Isaac Robb. We're all done for now. Bye-bye.